This is Aaron Wallace for Balance Your Fitness, here with another great pain reduction tip we're going to talk about today. I've had a lot of questions also about how we can relieve pain that seems all over. A lot of people suffer today from pains and aches and pains that are just seem to not necessarily be generalized in one place. Like we'll feel achy in our shoulders and in our back and our knees and kind of all over the place at once. And we want to understand that sometimes it seems very, very hopeless after we kind of go and we bounce from doctor to doctor working on one specific thing, or another joint, or been to physical therapy or chiropractic, etc. And a lot of times you have to first understand a little bit more about how we actually produce and control the inflammation response in our body. And one way we can be able to go and understand that, and it's starting to be commonly understood, and you see it with commercials like Activia and probiotics and things like that, is understanding the health of our gut or our intestinal tract. So just a little bit of a basic understanding of our intestinal tract is that every time that we chew food and we eat food, it goes down, we're going to chew it, we swallow it, it goes down to the esophagus to the stomach, where your hydrochloric acid helps where the digestion process starts, and then is passed along into the small intestine where it is absorbed. This is where we can get a little bit of trouble a lot of times with the inflammatory response, and that our body is actually in our small intestines where 70 to 80% of our immune system is located. It's actually located to help prevent us from getting bacteria in our body, to prevent infections and etc. from the foods that we eat. Because you can never actually completely sterilize anything that you eat. That's why your body has its own internal defense system that actually works naturally. You should not get infections if it's working properly. However, though, is that with the advent of mass use of what's called the herbicide, Roundup, and other pesticides and fungicides, etc., is that these herbicides and fungicides actually go and have been found to kill the gut bacteria inside the small intestine. Those what are called the probiotic or good bacteria. So when they go and try to sell you a probiotic supplement on television, you'll see a lot of commercials with that. And with those probiotic gut bacteria are supposed to be able to help maintain the health of the intestinal wall where you actually absorb your food. The problem with that is that if it's not there, if it gets killed because we keep eating foods that have a ton of these pesticides on it, or we're drinking a lot of alcohol, or use of a lot of what are called NSAIDs, like Tylenol, aspirin, things like that, too much, it actually breaks down that lining. And what can get in is what are called undigested, or basically like undigested food particles. So a lot of people have heard of like gluten intolerance, or dairy intolerance, or lactose intolerance. This is basically the digestive system is kind of broken down and it's inflamed, and so these food particles are allowed to get in. So then your immune system actually causes an immune response to basically the food you're eating. So the very food that you're eating actually becomes the reason why you keep getting inflamed over and over and over again. So this can start to ramp up over time, and that the more that you're inflamed, the more that your body's inflamed, the easier it is to be able to go and have these aches and pains that just happen all the time. We have work with a lot of people that end up having, they have knee pain one day, then shoulder pain the next, then neck pain the next, then hip pain the next, and it just goes all over the place. A lot of times the inflammatory response comes from that gut response. So we have to be able to understand how we can, to be able to understand that what we do on the inside, actually reflects how we can go and reduce pain on the outside. And the best way to be able to go to be able to help with that is if you have watched the video on organic foods and the importance of that, is by getting yourself to being able to go with high quality organic foods, and that should be able to completely lower your amount of pesticides, herbicides, and fungicides that you're eating, and start to allow the body to heal a lot more. One of the things that we actually do here at Balance Your Fitness is teach you to understand how you feel with certain foods and understand how to rotate your foods properly So that way you can be able to find out which foods that you're most intolerant to, and also understand what foods are going to be best for your body, so that way you can decrease that inflammation response over the long term. So we'll be able to go have a great program to be able to get rid of all these inflammatory markers in your body without taking a ton of drugs or taking a ton of supplements. It all starts from the basic lifestyle choices that we make on an everyday basis. And it's something that is reversible. It's not something that you have to go and live with forever. If we can go and start to rewind the choices that we make on a daily basis. So if you guys have questions on this, please don't hesitate to give me shoot me an email at info@balanceyourfitness.com, or check out our Facebook page, or ask questions in the comments section on the YouTube video. Again, this has been Aaron Wallace for Balance Your Fitness, asking you to live your life in balance.